Hell yeah.
All right.
Where
And
we
with
at? Ah, here we go.
that, it is. What time is it?
Game time. I really got to nail down like a solid transition for these segments because I feel like I do something different every time.
We gotta get we gotta get like some generic jock jams that we can play
Yeah,
and like lead into.
public domain music. Where's
Boom, boom,
what's
boom,
his name?
boom,
Kevin
boom,
McLeod. Where's
boom,
he at?
boom, 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 boom,
Let's see. So unfortunately, nice news. I don't know. I always like seeing that, like, at the very least we get some what's it called? We get some concept art of cool stuff because I mean not everybody's out here
Yeah.
making concept art for stuff. But unfortunately, we missed out on an open world Power Rangers game. Earlier, I guess actually that was a couple years ago for the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers. We got the cool game that came out on mobile and later on Steam.
For
Something
Battle for the
something
Grid.
Battle for the Grid, which is a brief testimonial, is actually a really good mobile game. It's not well, at least at the time that I played it. If I played for maybe a year, maybe in a year and some change. It's not super grindy. Well, I mean, I guess it is grindy because you're
There's gonna be
fighting, but
some.
that's
There's gonna be some
that's
grind
that's
elements,
just
but it's
playing
like,
the game though.
yeah, yeah.
But it's not super grindy. It's not ultra pay to win. Like there's a certain point where like if you pay enough, like yeah, you'll usually win. But like if you pay enough and you to win and you're bad, you can still lose. Basically, the game kind of works like a rock paper scissors kind of style or and whatnot. But like it's relatively pretty balanced. And pretty fun and engaging game with enough systems to kind of go around. That's Battle for the Grid, real fun game. The one we missed out on was basically, and I quote, as described by first name. I lost it.
I
My
believe
notes.
in you.
Jason Biscoff had described the game as an ambitious open world co-op that captured the energy, teamwork, and history of the franchise through a fresh lens. Basically it played kind of like Batman Arkham Knight, where you have this open world. Your allies are helping each other, there's a bunch of stuff going on, and you're fighting for one of the areas within the Power Rangers universe and like trying to win it back from the various nefarious forces through the Power Ranger world.
The battle for Angel Grove.
To the
That
quarry.
that poor that poor city. Like we talk about superhero movies where they like have levels of destruction, but it's like, what city budget did Angel
Mhm.
Grove have to be able to put those buildings back episode after episode?
Right? I assume you would have to have like the Power Rangers help you like put things back in order, but they seem to just like leave. So I don't know. Maybe they just like in this alternate reality America, they just pour all their money into like infrastructure so you can have a building up like set like done and built like within a matter of like 3 days.
Or what if the downtown is just fake? It's like,
It's
what?
just cardboard.
It's like that looks like cardboard. That's because it actually is. After a while, we just couldn't keep putting our buildings back, so we all just telework and do things out in the rural parts of the town, and we just let the monsters go havoc in the downtown because they don't know any better.
Yep. It's like, oh yeah, destroy all downtown. It's like the monster destroys buildings. Wait a minute.
It's like,
He's like, this is a sham.
I wanted to pour my hands through real concrete. All right. Going into game collecting news because I just can't help myself.
Hmm.
Uh, and another Mario game sold for a record amount. This is getting
Oh.
crazy. This is like, yo, this. Come on. I could go. I'll stop myself from going on a rant about graded games. But
Hmm.
last month, a sealed copy of Super Mario 64 sold for 1.65 million, and on the collectible site Rally, which works a little bit different than typical collecting sites. Typical collecting site would be that site owns the item. It could list the item, it might show it up, and then people can inquire about it, and then they make an auction or something, or they set a price, and then people either pay it or not. So that's typically how that would work. Rally is owned by almost a conglomerate, so people can put money or shares into a particular item, and that conglomerate can decide if someone wants to buy that particular item. They can sign off on selling it, almost like a company signing off on giving away that share of the company. Ergo, that collectible from the company. So a sealed Super Mario Brothers from an anonymous user purchased it for $2 million.
But why?
I,
Things only have the value to which we assign them. So like I get like if you really wanted that, but $2 million, no.
$2 million. I just
you know how many days you could stay at Galaxy's Edge for $2 million?
Oh god!
Because I don't. But I'm gonna calculate it because I postulated the question and now I need to know.
If it's exactly 2 million or just like north of 2 million, that'd be hilarious.
Like almost 8.25 years you could stay there. I'm sure they would probably give you a discount or something, or I don't know, inflate the price. I don't know, but at current market value, like 8 years and some change.
Seems like a lot. Yeah, and to be fair, like obviously I'm in a room surrounded by a ton of games, so I don't have any room to talk. Like I occasionally come across sealed games, and I'll hold on to them in case something happens. Yep. If I ever decide to sell this, get sells like this, definitely, even though it's new in a sealed game, that can still help me out raising the price of the used game to a point. I just, as excessive as everything is right now and how high priced, this is not hitting me the way it might have in the past. That's all. So it's not knocking on it. I love game collecting. Game collecting's awesome. It's just with some things like trying to buy a GameCube game right now. Good luck with that.
Yeah, right. Our discussion 2 weeks ago.
All right. If you'll launch us on Steam Deck, I will take the next one.
Ooh-wee.
So we are continuing our Activision Blizzard coverage, and actually the middle of last week. Trying to remember who the president. I'm blanking on the president's name of the company. J Edgar Brock.
There you go. That sounds right.
He has stepped down from the position of president. What that's going to mean as far as like, I expect severance packages and some contractual things there as well. So we'll see how much of an actual hit that means to him. But yeah, we'll see. J. Allen Breck. Sorry, not Edgar. Sorry.
I said it sounds right. I didn't say it was
right. Now, Activision Blizzard is losing sponsorships as lawsuits are starting to mass against Activision and Blizzard. Both Coke and State Farm have withdrawn from the OWL as sponsors, along with Kellogg and T-Mobile. So not just OWL, but that'll also be any other league events with Activision Blizzard, like with Call of Duty, any upcoming Call of Duty Warzone events. Now, we have not had a chance to check stats. I've been wanting to check stats as far as like players on the various platforms. I know it's been talked about on Twitch, as far as people jumping off that to do other things, but I don't know what actual drop off there has been.
Yeah, I spoke about it with some folks, maybe sometime last week or a week ago, but it's like, that kind of stuff does have power, and it's like people can often, the individual in a world that is driven by companies can often feel powerless, but you have to understand, like it is like, as an individual, you are the blood of that company. Like as a consumer, you're the blood. So if something is wrong with how you consume it, if one cell goes bad, then that's not a big deal. But oftentimes one bad cell corrupts another and another and another and another, and then suddenly that business has a major problem on its hands that they have to address. And that's got to be the comparison. It's like the health of a business is like the health of a body, and it's like when something's got to change, it's like, hey man, stop eating sexism. Like, you
No,
gotta
yeah, yeah.
prompt and it cause gastroabdominal distress and prompt some change.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sad now. But give me something to cheer me up, Steve, with some beautiful
With some
technology.
Steam Deck news. So we have some Steam Deck insights that's hit us via Linus Tech Tips. Earlier this past week, he did a video on his first interaction with an early build of the Valve Steam Deck, which, if you aren't familiar with, is basically Valve's throw into the physical console realm with a handheld basically computer that allows you to play Steam games, and it's built for long form gaming, and basically anything in the Steam library you can play on this Steam Deck. So in this little conversation, I'm not going to go over the specs and all that razzmatazz and what it can do, blah blah blah, because we've already talked about that. If you want to check it out, there's probably a clip of it somewhere, or check out our previous videos. It's since in there past couple weeks. But I just wanted to give a quick summary. I'm not going to go over everything that Linus talks about because I don't want to, take views out of his mouth, so to speak. But just some footnotes from the video. If you want the in-depth thing, like he does everything. He goes in, he has a side-by-side with his Switch and another proprietary handheld console
Vino.
that kind of fits the Vino that fits the similar bill. So he kind of gives a side-by-side comparison between the three for similar games like Doom Eternal and that kind of stuff. So if you want to get the whole nitty-gritty, go watch the video. But just some footnotes. It's like he said that it's super comfortable to hold. Like it felt like it was like weighted. Like it was like not heavy, but it did have like mass to it. But like it fits in the hand really well. And he notes that like even somebody like him who has small like hands that are smaller than average, like it fits really comfortably for him. It has multiple control options. You can scroll through stuff using the D-pad or the thumbsticks or the touchscreen for the menus to like set up your games and whatnot.
He also plugged in a mouse.
Yes, he plugged in the mouse. You do have auxiliary support for those kind of stuff because at the end of the day, it is a computer. So you're not like the price when you look at the price tag for the Steam Deck, you got to understand like you're not just getting a gaming console, a portable gaming console, but you are buying a computer. It runs like a customized version of Linux. So you can do on it. You can navigate away from the Steam store and then do your own thing and do what you normally do. It has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so that's like he mentions that's a leg up over Nintendo, who even the OLED edition of the Switch will not have Bluetooth support. So like you can't plug in Bluetooth headphones and just game that way. Which maybe when they make that Pro Switch, it'll have Bluetooth.
See.
He said the sound is phenomenal. It sounds really good, even without like plugging in headphones or anything like that. Just sitting there and playing it with the sound up, it sounds pretty good.
It's crazy what front firing speakers will do.
Right? This is like a gnat here. And he says like the screen is enough. Like one of the things that people had commented was that what's the spec? 1200 by 1800 or sorry 800. Like wasn't big enough for modern gaming, etc., blah blah blah. His criticism was that it is sufficient. Like you can see everything. It looks really crisp, really clean. And he was saying like especially for modern gaming, like looking at like having a game play at 60 FPS at 1200 by 800 is way better than like 1080p at 30 FPS. Orders of magnitude difference. Yeah. So he had a lot of really good things to say about it. I'm excited. What's the thing I was gonna say? What do they call that when you pay money to reserve a copy of something? Pre-order. Yeah, pre-ordering is only $5. There's 3 different models you can get. Again, I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of all of them, but they have different storage capacities and all that razzmatazz. But I would highly recommend investing in a Steam Deck. For me, it seems to be super great because a lot of the games that I end up buying on the Switch are games that I'm like, oh man, I'd love to play this game on the go, but this game is on Steam, but it's not on the Switch. But it's an indie company, so I'll gladly pay for it to support the company on, and I'll buy it on the Switch too. MBD.
Yeah. Some big things that stood out to me: the heat. So when y'all definitely check out the video, see the heat comparison. Something I hate when I play on a phone is that if the phone gets hot, there's nowhere else to touch because the phone is also like your battery and everything being integrated. It's just like if phone gets hot, it just sucks. So if you get one of the like controller grips and things like that, it helps mitigate that for that phone. But you can already tell once it was running for a while that your grips are probably going to be really comfortable. And then like we said, it was a computer. So check out the video. There's some adaptations that Linus goes ahead and tries out there to see what it can natively just pick up and run and dock with. And then they also Valve will be coming out with an official dock. That's not they haven't officially announced, they've announced they're going to be working on that, trying to get that out. It may not be out by the time that the deck releases, but it will give you a more native or easier way for that to like sit in a dock, head up, attach a monitor, and different things like that.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, one of the things I'm excited about feature-wise is just that because it is a computer, you can literally just have your Steam Deck dock, like pop it down somewhere, pop your Steam Deck in it, plug it into a monitor, and then like you have a computer. It's pretty dope.
Yep. Nerd Union on the road.
All right, so this time next year, me and you, Kenny, we're both going to have Steam Decks. We're going to do the whole show from a Steam Deck. I don't think it has a webcam on it, but you can plug it in auxiliary stuff. It'll work. He put
it in a USB-C hub.
Yeah, he did.
He did.